So I am so excited to talk about today's topic, which is all about psychosomatics. And what is this big, juicy topic all about? This is something that the world is starting to take more note of. You're starting to see a lot more people talk about it. You see a lot more doctors are referring to it in their medical terms, sometimes with their clients and case studies as well. So I'm really excited to dive into this fascinating topic, which is now unfolding. I've noticed really powerful patterns between people's emotions and how the physical body reacts in relationship to that. So, what is psychosomatics? Let's just start with that first, because when we look at what this is when we talk about when the body can, for example, manifest like symptoms or conditions as a response to emotional or psychological stress. For example, someone can, for example, like experience high levels of stress or maybe anxiety, or they might have physical symptoms like headaches, muscle tension, or digestive problems. When we look at the psychosomatic language, it suggests that these type of physical manifestations, it's almost like for a way for the body to express and to cope with underlying psychological challenges that we're not consciously addressing in our lives. So when we here now look at the study of psychosomatics and the relationship between the mind, like the psyche, and then also the body, this is now particularly in the context of how psychological factors can influence the physical health and our well-being as well. Now, in this field, it, for example, starts to dive deeper into the interconnection between our mental and emotional stress and then the impact on our bodily functions and also symptoms. Now, and also remember, that means our overall health as well. So psychosomatic medicine here now, for example, considers how the stress, how emotions, how our belief systems, and how our psychological factors can contribute or even alleviate physical illnesses. And it also emphasizes the holistic understanding of our health. Also recognizing this powerful, intricate connection between mental, emotional, and physical aspects of our body and also our well-being. Because when I wrote this big book, it was absolutely incredible how I noticed how someone, for example, comes to me from Canada and they have arthritis in their left hand, and someone from Australia has arthritis in their left hand. They would have the exact same emotional stress. They would have the exact same emotional patterns. Now, psychosomatics goes a lot deeper than just an emotion, which is why I wrote this book. A lot of people ask me, what is different about this book than the other books out there? Well, the size, first of all. It's the size. And also, what I looked at, what other books were missing, is actually what I fulfilled in this book. And so it's more than just an emotion, because we don't just experience, for example, a headache or stomach problems or back pain because of an emotion that we felt. There has to be a repetition of this emotion. There has to be a pattern of this emotion. Our bodies are pretty resilient. It's not going to collapse and cave in with psychosomatic symptoms because we feel an explosive moment of anger in a moment maybe where we had an argument. But if you are in a situation where there's ongoing arguments or there's ongoing circumstances that makes you feel angry, or maybe the circumstances have come to an end and the body still reacts in a psychosomatic way, maybe you have pain. Well, now what? The situation is not real anymore. It's over. So what is it? It's your memory of the situation that keeps it alive. And it's also the memory that you have of that trauma, of that stress, that continues to exacerbate the psychosomatic stress that is taking place in the body. So, for example, when a person has a lot of headaches, right, continuous regular headaches, it means that this person is stuck in a pattern, right, where they're continuously finding themselves in conflicting situations that they don't want to be in, but they don't know how to express boundaries to them. Now, it can be a pattern that this person, because of their poor boundaries, they might continue to find themselves in these type of situations, triggering now the layered in memory of feeling disempowered, feeling angry, feeling frustrated when I am in these situations, and there's nothing that I can do about it. Because psychosomatically speaking, also, when you look at this book, when I talk about pain, pain is a call to action. Number one, pain is also the end result of suppressed anger. Pain is the result of what I would call silent anger. Anger is a very heavy vibration, much heavier than any part of the body and other emotions apart from shame and guilt. Now, the body's natural rhythm, the body's natural harmonious flow is very gentle, it's very graceful. Yes, it can handle a lot of stress. Yes, it can handle maybe long, long periods of, endurance of stress and trauma, but it needs to come to an end at some point so that the body can regulate itself. The body's not designed, like everything else in life, to cope and deal with strenuous circumstances. Everything in life has a threshold, and that includes the body. That includes the biology of the body and its capacity to be able to cope and to deal with trauma, to deal with ongoing stress. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, well, I've never really had trauma, but I have all this stress and all this psychosomatic symptoms and back pain and neck pain and everything in my body. What could it be? Keep in mind that stress or trauma doesn't have to be like a massive, significant event like a car accident or the loss of a loved one. Trauma and stress can also take place over a long period of time. Like, for example, maybe you overwork yourself every day just a little bit, but maybe after a year, you might start to feel, wow, I'm reaching my capacity. I'm starting to feel super drained. Now I feel anxious. I'm struggling with insomnia. I feel really unhappy. What used to make me happy now makes me unhappy at work. What is going on? You see, just pushing beyond that limit, just that little bit over a long period of time can actually start to register in the body as a traumatic event. If the body is not able to regulate itself, to snap back into its natural state before this repetitive action started to take place. That means the body has overstepped its threshold. It has overstepped its capacity to be able to keep up with the lifestyle or the thought pattern or the motivation that you have. A lot of people don't realize that it's not always the action that you necessarily take that is always the problem. Not all cases, in some cases. It's the motivation behind it, driving it, that can make it toxic or unhealthy. If you want to make money because you love it, and it's a beautiful, positive experience, and it energizes you, that can actually be something that a lot of people can uphold with a long period of time where they can work long hours or they can do different things. And there's no problem. But then you have people who also want to earn a lot of money. They work, they have breakdowns, they have meltdowns, they start getting, stuck in addictive patterns. That could be because their motivation to become successful is coming from a place of unresolved trauma. You see the difference. Now, this is definitely something that I can truly relate to. That's happened a lot to me when I was moving and going through my own journey of, wanting to be successful, wanting to feel safe in my career. My 20s was an absolute roller coaster. I wrote a book about it, The Abundance Mindset, that I will release very soon, where I actually wrote about my pitfalls and, the power behind what drives your actions that can make or break your health. It can make or break your mental health, and it can make or break your relationships. Because when we look at emotions and how they are energized, each emotion and trauma, they are stored in specific parts of the body. Now, this algorithm, this is interesting. This algorithm is the same for every person on this planet. Why? Because our blueprint is the same. Our emotional makeup and instinctive responses is the same. However, now our life experiences add a lot more complex emotions to prior emotions that we also inherited because of our relationships with different dynamics and different people and circumstances playing out. Now, when we also look at it from this perspective, when you start to become sensitive to having this sense for, I'm feeling this negative feeling, wow, now I'm feeling my heart's flaring up, or wow, I feel really frustrated, now I have a headache. This is very powerful. This awareness is what can help you to start to catch these moments before emotional stress turns into that physical, is what I would call physical energy. We have meta energy, which is the emotional stress. You can't really see it or describe it really well, but when you have an ailment, that's more, now we have something really hardcore that malfunctioned in the cellular level of the body. Emotions is more an energetic functioning system, as I would call it. But an ailment, now we're talking about cells that have misaligned. Now we're talking about cells and its messages that have become challenged. Now, these messages and these cells can become challenged because of negative emotions that we energize, because of negative thought patterns that we also have. Because your conscious awareness is absolutely fundamental key in order for you to unlock and to start to be able to control the psychosomatic expression in your body. Now, why is this so important? Because when we look at consciousness, consciousness is the awareness of oneself and of your environment. Now, your conscious perceptions are also in constant state of change. It's always fluctuating. And that's because our physical bodies and everything that we own, it's really just symptoms and after effects of this consciousness. Because consciousness is the reason we have like what I would call like a split duality. And it's a consciousness, this consciousness that I'm talking about, that gives us our duality. Now, we operate in the awareness that we have a soul in terms of, where we're tapping into in these vast pieces of information that's in the quantum field, the space between you and I. And we sense this information, we sense this energy, but we can't necessarily explain it or justify it, but we can feel it, we know it's there. When you see someone standing there and you can't see their face, but you can feel, wow, that person feels really heavy, or that person feels really sad. But you can't prove it, you can't see their face, or maybe they give you a blank poker face, but you can feel something is off. How do you prove that? You can't, but you can feel it. Something in you is pulling your awareness and your attention to the fact that something doesn't feel in alignment with your natural harmonious state. So we normally take note when we feel discomfort. And that's why it's easier for us to actually pick up when someone's being angry, sad, or miserable, rather than picking up when someone is really super happy or in a good space, because that's not a threat to us. This is the influence that the biology of the body has on the soul, and how the soul can come in and filter in through this awareness, bringing this awareness to you through the physical body. Because we need the biology of the body to bring this awareness to us, because we need to feel what? To be able to hear and see and sense our intuition. We need to be able to have a connection with the body, because it's the body that gives you the messages of what these intuitive hints can be around you. How? It gives it to you through emotions, through thought, through images. How do you think also is coming to you? It's coming to you also through the body. This is how we're processing it as well. The soul works in conjunction with your body to speak to you, to help you to feel, see, sense, or hear messages. So when people tell me I'm not intuitive, I can't feel my feel, or I can't, sense things properly, I've never been psychic, I can never do that stuff. I don't believe in that. We are all psychic, we are all intuitive. What you have a challenge with is feeling your emotions. Because we need to be able to feel our emotions to be able to connect to our intuition, to meet this conscious awareness that I'm talking about. Now, awareness of a problem is a problem half solved. Now, awareness of the problem is knowing and understanding I have pain, but it's not just about getting stuck about what is the pain. Why is the pain there? That's the other question. Oh, it's there because maybe I sat at my desk for in a really bad position for too long. Okay, but why were you hunched over, not sitting straight up like someone else? Emotions influence how you physically hold your body. Did you know that? So people who hunch over at their desk the whole time like this, people tend to have a fear of success. People try to stay out of harm's way. They don't want to get involved in conflict. They just want to sit there quietly and do their work. They're in hide mode. But now we have to ask the question, why? It doesn't necessarily mean that it has anything to do with their work. It could have something to do with maybe they had a trauma with their father who was a very, abrasive person, and there's someone in the office who's also very abrasive, reminding them of their father, triggering this body posture. So it's not always necessarily about this person's overworked and carrying all the responsibility, which seems to be the mainstream psychosomatic message of it. It can actually be something much deeper. Now, it's that other extra awareness that I'm referring to. Awareness of a problem is a problem to have solved. The other half is really truly understanding the deeper aspect of this problem and the awareness that you bring into that. Because when you know that you have a headache, you have awareness of it. Okay, great, let's take a pain tablet. That doesn't deal with the reason why you have it in the first place, right? It helps you to cope, and that's great, but it doesn't help you to put it to rest so that it doesn't have to keep coming back. Because this is where I talk about the soul, and I'm very passionate about it, because the soul connects you to the body's consciousness and the sensory system that you need in order to be able to be super intuitive, to be able to really fully truly understand and connect to your intuition, right? This is very important to understand. And so when we see the body, we have our emotions, we have instincts, and in this way, we have the consciousness of the biology of the body. So here, this is the split duality that I was talking about earlier. We have a split duality. We have a split experience. One is the awareness and the consciousness of the soul that plugs us into the grid of the quantum field. And then we have the awareness and the consciousness of the biology of the body, meaning our primal existence in 3D physical form, where we hunt, we want to have money, we want to have, children, we want to have a house, we want to have our basic needs met, very human basic needs that we don't have in the afterlife in the soul form. You see the difference? So that's very important, because it's very important that when we feel discomfort in the body, when we feel pain, when we have problems in the body, that we need to deal with that discomfort. We need to meet that discomfort, because meeting that discomfort and how we meet it, how we deal with it, that is going to determine how you grow, how you heal, and how you evolve. It determines whether an event is going to become a traumatic experience or a learning experience. A learning experience meaning where you become resilient, meaning you were able to overcome the traumatic event. Because we experience trauma and stress, and this can become locked into the body. I talk a lot about this in my, I used to call it the intuitive body workshop, but now we call it the decoding trauma, unveiling messages in the body workshop, because that's really what it is. Because the body also stores and holds memories, right? We have our epigenetics, we have genes, we have the master cell in the body. The muscle can hold memories. The fascia can hold memories. Your lungs can hold memories. Your organs can hold memories. It's incredible how the body can absorb and hold memories and emotions. And it's the same for all of us. Sometimes it can be a little bit more complex depending on your current experiences or maybe certain beliefs or values that you have. But the main fundamental foundation of it tends to be the same. And it's so powerful because even when you just look at the way that you speak, right? The way that you speak is what's called through a process, it's called somatics. And this is the process, for example, where your words can be vibrated into a special platform that where it can now take a geometric form. And this means that everything that you say, everything that you speak, right, into the meta-energetic field that we have. Remember, this is not the physical field, not the cellular physical field, but in your meta-energetic field. What you speak into the body can reinforce an energetic message that you projected. Silent words and thoughts can do exactly the same. Words and thoughts can change atoms. You are made of atoms. Your thoughts and your words can actually influence the cellular structure of your body. Now, if you energize negative thoughts and negative feelings, it can actually affect the body in a very negative way, especially over a long period of time. That is why when you feel or think negative thoughts or angry thoughts and suddenly you get a headache, that's because the cellular structure in the brain, in the mind, where the nerves are, becomes disrupted. Because the natural harmonious energetic electromagnetic field flow that we have in the body is disrupted with these negative thoughts and feelings. Now, I golf deep into why and how that works in my trauma decoded intuitive body workshop. One-day workshop, it is so much fun. It's a practitioner workshop as well. If you want to get a certification, that's optional. You know, our courses are CTAA, IPHM, and so many other accreditations that we also have on top of that. So go have a look if this is something that really interests you. Because when we look at the depth of how this goes, it's going to absolutely blow your mind. It's going to blow your mind in a positive way and not with a headache. So I would love to start a healing meditation with you now, where we're going to dive into the body in a fun way. And I'm going to show you how we can get a message from the body in a really fun way. So if you are ready, I would love for you now to take a nice deep breath. Nice deep. And now I invite you to find yourself in a nice, empty, open space. And as you're finding yourself in that space, find yourself now focusing on your breath. And as you do, notice how you start to become quiet and more quiet. Notice how you can even start to feel your heartbeat as you do. Knowing and understanding this body and this heart lives and beats for you to support you throughout your life, to help you to achieve your goals. And now I invite you to take note. Do you perhaps feel tension or pain in your body at the moment? And if you don't, that is okay. You can then focus on, is there an emotional stress in your life that you feel quite distracted by or that's bothering you? You can approach it from both ways, from the side of tension or pain, or maybe an emotional stress that you have in your life. Now take note if it's pain or discomfort or tension. Where in your body do you feel it? And if it's an emotion or stress, I invite you to be playful and imagine that this part or this emotion had a starting point inside of the body. If it did, where would it be? Maybe you feel heaviness there, or you feel your awareness just spontaneously feels drawn to a certain area in your body. The first pull that you have, the first hint that you have is normally the correct. The more you think about it, the more you're going to find that it's not as accurate. And now, wherever it is that you're feeling this in the body, bring your full focus and awareness to that area. And as you do, spontaneously just one, two, three. What does that part of the body just say to you? Does it have something to say or shout? What does it say? And then also take note. What color do you feel around that area? What color do you notice around that area? And now Take note of this color. How does this color make you feel? Notice your emotions, notice the sensations. Maybe you have images coming forward, or just you feel sensations. What does this color normally mean to you? And combine this answer with a message that you received in the body. And see what is the collective message. And once you have that message, let's now imagine, hear, feel, see, or sense a beautiful, powerful light flowing from your head down your body, down, 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 out your face. Releasing any blocked, stuck energy and messages in that part of your body. Feel how this light is dislodging all that stress, allowing it to flow through you and out of you like a river, out your face, down, 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 into the earth. Feeling that the more you try to hold on to it, the more it's just slipping out of you. Going, 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 going. And now, bring another colored light over you. And this color light holds the healing resources, everything that you would need in order for this message or this stress to be neutralized. And bringing that new color over you now from your head down your body, flowing and filling up every single cell in your body. Allowing your body to continue to absorb and fill up with this healing light and resources. Finding yourself feeling lighter and lighter and lighter and expanding in the absence of this old stress. And now, I invite you to take a nice deep breath. One more. And I invite you now to bring your full focus and awareness to the bottom of your face. Your full focus and awareness is at the bottom of your face. Grounding you, anchoring you back into the here and now. When you're ready, you can slowly start to bring your awareness back to me, fully back to the present, into the here and now. And welcome back.